What's up, ladies, gents, queens, kings, and commentators? It's the one and only You Can't Clone Me Queen, baby.
And it's your boy, back again, featured on the platform, Sean CTP. You already know it's Sweet Life, episode 9.
And we are getting into the final episodes. Why did I do that? That was so lame, but...
You notice every video you start off a little cheesy?
That's fine. We're here with the viewers, so...
They like it.
That's all that matters.
1,000
Okay,
monetized.
You always overdo life. So, with all that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so getting into episode 9, we already know that finally Tylynn and Jerrold have finally had this conversation. They both have finally apologized to each other, and we all can stop holding our breath and stuck it in our stomachs because it is over between them two, and they are back working on their friendship. Thank you, God.
The storyline is
Thank you, Jesus.
Closed.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Because it was so tiring. It was draining. And like I said in the last recap, if y'all caught the ending of that, I had to take my own accountability in saying that Jerrold did deserve that apology. You do too. You need to take some accountability because we both were saying that Jerrold. Yes, you did. Baby, don't let me go back in these videos.
I know it ain't.
Yeah.
Don't put me in there.
Yes, you did. You felt like Tylynn didn't need to apologize to him either.
Over a word.
Correct. But it was beyond the word.
I still feel like this. Now that the apology has switched to being less about the word and more about how it made him feel, that's the difference.
Okay, it is.
She still does not need to apologize for the word. She apologized for how
it because the word is the word, and the word was kind of true. It's the fact that was her friend, and he felt some way about it, and because of that, we do have to respect the fact that your friends do get hurt by certain words. So, yes, he deserved that apology, but Tylynn also deserved the apology as well. And they got it. They both got it. They moving on.
Storyline is
closed. So shall we. And that's just that.
And so shall the show, hopefully.
So then we getting into, move on to Petiri and Bri having a conversation.
Bri's situation.
Bri's situation with Petiri, who Bri has just been so amused, amazed, and just intrigued with Petiri for last season and this season, and finally she got him. We
can't call her. I don't think we can frame her as boy crazy this season. Not boy crazy, because like she's really only talked to 2 dudes this whole season. Petiri for the most part.
It's not about different boys. It's about the way you act when you're with guys. Like, boy crazy is not, oh, I'm dating this guy, trying to go on this date, date. It's more than that. It's about the way you act around these guys. It's the way you act with them, after them, texting them, calling them. Like, it's more than just like different guys.
But with Petiri, it always seemed different to me. Bri and Petiri always seemed a little deeper than like.
I agree.
It seemed real. It seemed real to me.
It seemed like they had a real connection. Like, whatever they talked about, whatever they bond over, whatever was that thing that, you know, made them want to be together, it worked. And it connected and it resonated with us as viewers. And clearly, them two on screen. Like, it didn't to us or to me, it didn't seem like it was fake. It didn't seem like, it seemed like it was a genuine thing. So when Bri comes around and she say like she don't know how she feels and she just have these different emotions, like when they are together it feels like they on top of the world, but then when they're distant then it just feels like
nothing.
And someone who has been in a long distance relationship, baby, the beginning it's gonna feel like nothing. Y'all on first of all 2 different sides of the world.
They on 2 different coasts, time zones.
2 time zones, 2 coasts. Like, it takes time. First of all, y'all just said that y'all are gonna make things official. It takes time for people to change up their schedule. It takes time. Yes, somebody can put in effort, but it's not gonna be right away. Everything is not gonna be perfect as soon as you say, I want to be with you. It takes fucking time, Bri. Everybody not gonna be up your ass. That man got a job, you got a job. He probably got side hustles, you got side hustles. Like, come on, like, give him some leeway, you know, give him some chance. Yes, when y'all together, it's gonna feel like y'all on top of the world because y'all not together fucking weeks in. Weeks after weeks, month after month. Like, Yeah, so yes, when we get together, when y'all together for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, baby, it's gonna feel like the world has stopped. Yes, that's what it's supposed to be like because y'all haven't seen each other. But I feel like Bri wants somebody that's so clingy and under her. She wants somebody texting and calling her 24/7. Like, I think that's what Bri wants, and because of that, it feels like she feel like Petiri isn't doing much. And I don't think that's true. And then now that I'm thinking about also too, going back to last season, she felt the same thing, same way about Jordan. Like Jordan wasn't applying the pressure. Well, Jordan was there in LA. That boy had a whole motherfucking business that she knew he
Empire.
Empire that she knew he had to run, and he couldn't give her that time and attention. So that's why I said in the last recap, I'm gonna say in this recap, baby, I'm starting to think it's not them. I'm really starting to think it's Bri. Cause then what was the excuse with Jordan? I mean, at the end of the day, I do really feel like Jordan never really wanted Bri. And he damn near said that she didn't have shit going for herself. Which in a way at that time she kinda didn't. At least compared to what everybody else was doing. Bri wasn't on that level yet, but now she has her butt by Bri and she's popping and she's doing her thing, and I love that for her. But when it comes to these men, it's like she want them on her ass, but they trying to get it just how you trying to get it.
Yeah.
You gotta respect that. Y'all all in y'all 20s.
You gotta respect that. I'm not gonna be able to talk to you 24 hours out of 24 hours in a day.
Especially if you up at you going to bed at fucking 12 and I'm going to bed at motherfucking 8 a.m. Like, huh?
It ain't gonna happen.
Like, it takes time. It's levels to this. Just because you blink your eyes and you in love don't mean like that love is just gonna overflow at that exact moment. It takes time. Like people say, it takes time to find, not even so much find a soulmate, but build a soulmate. Like the love of your life is not gonna be the perfect person for you. It takes time to build that.
I feel like what I did like about that conversation though is that they were both very. They may not have been emotionally in tune with each other, but they were emotionally in tune with self. Like Bri noticed, like Petiri was like, oh, like I've been noticing like you've been real distant lately. Like something seems off about you, something seems wrong. And Bri's like, oh, it's just like my social media down. I've been around people too much, and me as somebody that like, I'm not a people. I felt that. It was like, I need a break. It's not you, it's me. I'm just like everybody kind of like, it's a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? But like for the fact that Petiri like knew her enough to like see that about.
You said Petiri.
For Petiri to know enough about her to see that and at least acknowledge that, like, I feel like to me it all falls back on Bri. Like, we'll get into their downfall later, but like it just always bothered me because it seemed like Petiri was very intentional, and she was just not acknowledging his intentionality. Like, for a man to notice that, like, oh, something's wrong with you, something's off about you, like, and to actually genuinely care, and you to just, here she go crying again.
I agree. No, so as y'all can already tell, like, we are kind of jumping straight into the episode, especially starting with the Bri and Petiri situation because it was a lot, and it's just like, I feel like just how she felt like she had to cry and get it out, I need to fucking get it out right now because it was just a lot, because I just did not understand and I just couldn't respect her feelings on it. Because when they started talking and when they met up, the first thing that happened is she started crying. The first thing I text, because we watched it at different times, and I texted Sean, I said, this clearly is a conversation that they had ahead of time and they needed to film it on screen. That's the first thing I said because she knew that they were either already broken up or she was about to break up with him. And because of that, it's like something with women. Like, I feel like either she never broke up with a person before, or just never been in that situation. I don't know what it is, or she just get emotional when she does it. That's exactly what it was. I'm finna break up with this guy. I have to let him know he's a good guy, and I have to let him know that I don't want to be with him. And because of that, like, I'm emotional. I have feelings. Like, I'm crying, I'm weeping, and it's running over to him. Even with her saying, it's not you, or you are not the problem. And it's very well, it could be very much true, but it's still like, Bri, okay, if that's the case, what's the problem?
And she wasn't emotionally intelligent enough to really articulate what the problem was.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like, it goes back to your point, it baffles me too. The fact that, like, they were just together in New York. Like, I don't know the time frame between New York and Mexico, but it seems like it wasn't that long. So, like,
couldn't have been.
you didn't even give it time to like.
Exactly why I was saying that long distance. I always say long distance is not for the weak at all, period. But you gotta be hella weak for it to be not more than 2-3 weeks. To fumble the way that Bri fumbled in a long distance relationship, like you knew you was supposed to be long distance. With
somebody you allegedly wanted, like, for months now.
You bought an outing with your best friend for this dude. And for you to fumble how you did in a matter of seconds, because you felt like he wasn't on your ass, you felt like he wasn't applying pressure. Like, what? Okay, what do you want? The man asked you.
That's what it was too. I think that's what it was. For me to ask you what you want and you not even be able to give me an answer back.
You don't know what
you want. Because you don't know.
Exactly.
At this point, it seems like you're more in, and this is, devil's advocate for Petiri. It seems like you were more in tune with the idea of being in a relationship with me than actually going through the motions and the struggle of being in a relationship with me. Because it's not peaches and cream. Like,
being in a relationship with somebody in person is not easy. Imagine long distance, and this is why I always say she just wants somebody clingy and on her. But then again, if you want somebody like that, that time and effort can't be spent. If I'm spending all this time and effort on you being under your ass, then that means I don't have no time and effort in my daily life, my career, with my other friends. Like, I don't have time for that.
Exactly.
So what? So I'm just sitting home texting you all day. That's not real life. Not for real.
Not to mention if your whole point was that me not being like, applying pressure, being up on you, how did we be on a trip together and you like backing up? This our time, we supposed to be together. So you wasting our time that we have together because it's too many people around. Like I'm crying. I need a break from people. You ain't got no. You had 3 weeks break from me. This our time. Like
exactly.
So like it didn't make. She was all over with her emotions and it just didn't line up. It just didn't line up or make sense. Cause like if that's the case, this is our time to be together. So like why are you subtracting from me? Like, why are you like pushing off? Like, why are you seem distant? When this is all the time that we have together.
It's all the time we have, and the first thing you say is, it's not you. I don't know what it is, it's not you, but I just need some time to think.
I can't go off of vibes. Like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
We too grown to like not know what we're doing. Like, what is it gonna be?
Yeah, I don't get Bri at this point and at this time. I refuse to continue to try to get to understand Bri and why
she's a self-sabotager. That's the only way I can get to. That's the only way I can get, and that's gonna come up later. But that is literally the only way I can describe her, as somebody that doesn't put their own best interest at first.
Yeah,
you have a good thing, but you don't think you deserve a good thing.
No. I think like I said last season, she has pretty girl syndrome, and she maybe get used to having things handed to her, or things may go her way, or people do stuff for her at the drop of a dime. And in this situation with Petiri, that's not happening because he doesn't have that leeway because they are separate and they are distant, and it's just not that way. Granted, he can do things to, make her feel like, she's the best thing in the world. But like I say, it takes time. It's going to happen. It takes, it's going to lead up to that, and she didn't give it a chance. Yes, she's a self-sabotager, but it's way more than that. And she just is going to, I don't know if Bri goes to therapy, but I hope she does, because she has to understand herself and find herself, her inner self, and also how she is when it comes to relationships, because it's always something. And at first it kind of looks like the guys will be the problems, but then on the back end and towards the end, we realize like, no, Bri, you are the one who is, like y'all say, self-sabotaging yourself. Because, yourself, because these are the things that you're doing that you think sounds right, and it may be right because in your mind you have something set, or you think something should be going one way, and it's like, baby, that's not real life. That may be happening in your own world, in your mind, but that is not the real motherfucking world. It's not. This is not Bri world. This is motherfucking God's world.
Hello.
So,
That ain't it.
that's it. But moving on from Bri and Petiri, Robb with 2 B's get the motherfucking big boot.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen.
You're so dramatic.
Was waiting on it.
Yeah.
If he didn't get the boot, somebody was gonna boot him. Like he was gonna get beat up if he stayed there any longer.
I think his time was definitely up. Like I said, he was not giving us anything. I don't think there was more he could have gave. I do think if that conversation with Myami, AQ, and Marcus would have happened, and Robb was there, I think it would have been a little bit more dramatic than what it was. But he got the boot. Now, what was crazy to me is when the executive producer came to take him out, she was like, well, we did a background check and then it cut off. She didn't tell us the rest. But then when Myami came in, it's like a problem situation. I need to have help.
Business
that I need to, settle back home. Mama EP said, something with your background check, boo. So what your business got to do with the background check?
But see, what I was confused about too is what didn't make sense to me is that if he had already been on episodes and filming prior, the background check should have already been done. Because he was filming with Becky and Myami and Cheryl and all of them episodes ahead.
So you think it was something relating to being in Mexico?
It had to be something.
But then even after this though, he was not back filming when they went back to LA because he would have been at that party. Unless he didn't want to be involved and he felt too embarrassed.
Or maybe something happened off screen that we didn't see.
That's what I'm saying. It's something, and the suspense is literally eating me alive.
Hopefully we find out on the group chat.
That may or may not happen.
I think he got beat up. I think they fought.
What they got to do with the background check?
They had to lie. They had to make up something for TV.
No.
They had to make up something for TV to be like, because his background check would have already been cleared. Like if he had been filming, they're not gonna let you film if you don't have your background check done.
I know.
Like
I'm a producer.
Yeah, exactly professional. You wouldn't have been on screen. Period.
Correct.
So something had to happen. I feel like in Mexico to where it's like they had to get you off, and maybe they didn't because you notice they have never showed. I take that back because they did show fighting this season on screen. Yeah, so it couldn't have been he had a little tussle.
And that would have been good TV, so they would have showed it.
I don't know what it was, but he had to go.
It had to be something in Mexico that because sometimes with productions and shoot like stuff can get hectic. It can get confusing, get looked over real quick, and then you go back. Somebody finally say, "Come walk up to the EP or the production coordinator, or somebody, and like, hey, Robb got this on his record, or Robb got da-da-da-da-da. Like, yeah. So the suspense is killing me. Even though I feel like even if the group chat does happen, I don't think he will say anything about it. Because at this point, I would have been said, like, if it was me.
That's the host's job to ask him what it was.
Then I mean, he's gonna tell it.
No, you don't tell it. You had no reason to be
here. Because that's what we want to know.
You ain't got no reason to be here if you ain't gonna tell us why you got the boot.
Exactly. And then what kills me is, Myami was, sad. She should, because that's her friend, and she feel like her friend always defends her and protect her. But then I felt like when Myami was telling him, like, I'm going to be so sad when you leave because nobody's going to be here to defend me, I'm like, Myami, you do not need him to protect or defend you. You do that yourself.
You don't need no
help.
You
always handle yourself very well, which is one thing I do like about you. So, come on, let's be for real. Let's be for real, Myami. You ain't need him. But it was cute that you made him feel that way, though. I like it.
Well, nobody else made him feel welcomed.
They said, what did Jerrold say?
Get out of here. Go. See ya.
Immediately.
Pack your bags. You need help taking them out? Because you can.
I won't help you, but I'll call a maid to help you.
The episode was a little lighter after that, I felt like.
Hell no. Because then after that, the whole A.Q, Myami, and Marcus situation went down.
Well, that was.
So, getting into the whole situation with A.Q, Myami, and Marcus, it was a lot because one, A.Q never even knew, like he claimed that he knew that Myami and Marcus was in the pool together or the jacuzzi together and that he heard everything, but really I don't think he heard anything because he was really asleep.
He said he woke up.
I think he's seen him, but I don't think he heard the conversation that happened. But what I do think happened is when Marcus went to him to have a conversation like, oh, you know, Miami been saying like, you know, she needed real men and we was in the jacuzzi, we was doing this and that. Like, he was really making it seem real good. Like, he was spicing it up real good. Like, baby, he was seasoning that thing.
Like, they was up there like, when it was literally.
Exactly. He made the situation with him and Miami seem like Miami was really like coming on to him real strong, and he fell for it.
And it was a one-sided. Come on, like.
Yeah, he made it seem like it was one-sided when no, it was literally the total opposite. It was literally the other way around. You were flirting with her. You were coming at her like Miami is very blunt. Miami's very blunt, so she says whatever comes out her mind. So she's letting you know like, oh, your friend is not applying pressure. I don't think your friend is a real man. Like, he's not giving me what I want from him. So you decide to take that and you flip that. So you gonna tell your friend like, oh, you know, Miami's coming on to me because she was like, she need a real man. So you trying to say you're the real man and your friend is a bitch? Because that's what I got from that conversation.
That's what I got from it.
That's exactly what I got. So it's like, well, damn, that's kind of fucked up, ain't it? You trying to make yourself seem like the bigger man. Like a bigger man don't even need to do all that. But that's what you need. You felt like you needed to do. Make it make sense.
When A.Q is literally the bigger man.
Literally. I mean, they both small, but in this situation, A.Q the big. I guess he the big one. I mean, they both smaller than me. But needless to say, Miami, so A.Q, after the conversation with A.Q and Marcus, A.Q decides to, oh, before I even get into that, do I want to talk about PJ and Rebecca first and then get into
Big side conversation?
Yeah, nah, I ain't even gonna get into that. So PJ and I be forgetting.
So we gonna talk about Rebecca?
No, we're not gonna talk about it. So PJ and Rebecca had a conversation, but before we get into that, Rebecca, you know, after that conversation, Rebecca went to go talk to Miami, and Rebecca gets interrupted by A.Q. So A.Q goes to Miami, and baby, this was a motherfucking showdown. Baby, Miami was laying him out from the moment that he came in her presence. She was like, baby,
with that vampire shirt on.
I don't know who's showing more tits than me. Who's showing more tits, you or me? Like, your titties is out, baby, and mine is like, I'm confused.
What was that shirt though?
It was giving something he needed to wear to the lingerie party. Buttered by Brie lingerie.
What in the?
And then on top of that, his pants was tight, so he
couldn't even sit down. Like, couldn't even sit. Like, what was going? Like, that whole thing was just like it was hard to watch.
And like the fact that Miami was on his ass about it, like I knew he was like he wanted to lay her out, but he was trying to keep.
He tried to, but he came over aggressive because the first thing Rebecca said when she got up, she was like, "Oh, he a little hot. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, he a little weird. She was like weird, but okay. Like, yeah, he was coming on some hot shit.
Like, let me come holler at.
He didn't know Miami was gonna be on his ass, and baby, that she was. Like, from the beginning to the end, like, it was at one point he had done brought up and said, oh.
You homie hopping? That's what you want to say?
No, but you said it.
You were like, oh, you homie hopping? She was like, I barely hopped on you. Like.
No, oh yeah, and then he gonna talk about some, oh yeah, he was like, oh, I heard you say you need a real man. But a real man is someone that goes to pick her rent.
Like, do you not know? Clearly, she got properties because she like, what?
What they got to do with me?
And one thing about it, and this is very true when she said this, when you bout your money, you don't have to address that you bout your money. I ain't got to
tell you about what I'm about. I ain't got to tell you, baby. It's going to be, the proof is in the pudding.
And so it clearly wasn't on that $15 Shein shirt.
That man been wearing Prada and shit. You thought that was a Shein shirt? That probably was from Chanel.
Take it back. Take it back to Chanel. Take it back to Chanel.
Palm Angel.
Take it back to Palm. Palm lost the Angels in that one. Take it back.
Yeah, it wasn't giving. I know he had to be hot. Like, remember he was trying to be slick. Well, it is Mexico. You look hot.
You don't look like Mexico.
Exactly. You are giving.
No, it give Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
It was Day of the Dead.
It was very much Day of the Dead.
Yeah, it was giving celebrate. Coco, all he was missing was his face.
It was giving veil, but on the shirt.
All he was missing was the face paint.
It was giving, you know how to say red wedding, black wedding.
Black wedding. Black wedding. We're fun.
It's so fat that he really tried to let Myami out. Look at how he looked. It's like, sir, pause, rewind, back it all the way up, and let's try this again, because what? And
they going at it at this point. It's a little hostile. So then the make matters worse, Marcus come pop on up.
Why? 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 Why was he there? Why was his presence needed?
Because what? Like, it just... So then now they low-key getting into it. Him and AQ getting into it. Like,
he like, bro, you trying to be with what he call her, a street? Oh, you trying to be with somebody who for the streets over your bro? Like, he trying to pull one of those, but...
I'm for the streets. I'm still barely for you.
I never was for you. I'm not for him either. Like, so what are we talking about here? Like, get your dog. Get your big bro.
I get some people that's gonna come handle him.
Get him. Like, cause what are we talking about? Like, that situation was a mess, and AQ really tried to love girl her, but he met his match that day, and I feel like really he wanted to like call her a lot of bitches and hoes. Like, I felt like he wanted to do that, but because he knew he on TV, he tried to keep it cordial.
He called her a broad though, and she ain't like that.
I wouldn't like it either, cause that was his.
That was it. That's nice his way calling her.
His nice way of trying to say like, all right, bitch. Like he wanted to. I could tell because Myami was on his ass. But
so what's
it
the
never
difference?
made sense for him to even come from Myami like that, anyways, because he went off of what Marcus said. But I felt like he had a right to come to her and ask her questions about that jacuzzi situation because he felt like, you know, they had just went on a date. Whatever he may have felt. He had every right, and I give you that, AQ, but you came at her real hot. So you can't come at somebody hot and expect somebody to, like, be on hands and knees for you, because that's not how life goes. You
didn't come trying to have a conversation. You came trying to have a
moment.
Or an argument. Like, you came ready to, like,
try to put me in my place.
And it was never going to,
that was never going to happen. My place, but I'm the wrong one. I can't be placed, baby. I'm out the box.
Okay.
Yeah. You felt that. I know you did.
That whole little showdown was weird.
So anyways, moving on from the whole situation with Myami, Marcus, and AQ, we're getting into the whole conversation with Jaelynn, Robb, and Keilan. And they basically talking about, you know, the whole baby and marriage situation, which is important because a lot of stuff that happened with this conversation kind of falls into the last episode in a big blowout that happened in the last episode. And we all know how that went down, baby. But needless to say, you know, Jaelynn goes and tell, you know, Keilan and Robb, like, you know, Tylynn been talking about marriage, so I decided to go look for rings after we had, like, couples therapy. Now, I just found that crazy because I'm like, Jaelynn, you went to one couples therapy. I guess you claim you think you got to understand where Ty is coming from, and the first thing you do is go run for rings. I just think that was so weird because y'all not even ready. Y'all still not even ready for marriage.
Y'all still healing.
Yeah, y'all not ready for marriage either. I think he was confused. Tylynn was saying she would want to be married before she have a child. She never said she was even ready for marriage. So I'm confused. Where did you get confused at? Where did the confusion happen?
He's just he just understands the order of events now. He's trying to make them happen to get what he wants.
But he's trying to make them happen too fast, and I feel like he needs to go back and reevaluate everything that happened, everything they talk about, and see how they could be moving forward and what they need to do moving forward to get to a better place, to get to a better understanding so they can work for marriage, work for looking for rings, work for having that baby, because y'all not there yet. So how you go from having the conversation about babies, going to couples therapy, to looking for rings. And then right after that, having a conversation, that's motherfucking Brightline in Miami. Just get from motherfucking Miami to West Palm Beach in a matter of seconds. Like, huh? Like, Jaelynn, baby, I think you're confused, and because of this situation, it shows me how you ain't ready for nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But then not only that, so then you get your bro, like, the first thing Keilan says, so you ready for that?
Valid question. Valid question.
Also a very projectorial question.
See, okay, everybody, you sound like Candace. Because Candace feels like Keilan does a lot of projecting too. And they could, I don't think, okay, I
feel like it's the natural question you would ask in that situation. Like, is that something you're ready for? Then his subsequent comments after that was very projectorial. So like Jaelynn was like, it's not, Jaelynn goes, he's like, it's not necessarily that I'm ready for, but I know it's something that Ty wants. Like, this is what she's been talking about. And like, I'm just trying to make it. Well, he goes, oh, well, it's kind of weird that Tylynn talking about this right now, because at the same time, Candace is talking to me. So what's up with that? And because he was projecting, it kind of gets to the point where like now Jaelynn is second guessing himself almost. Like, well, that's a good question. Like,
well, yeah, I do believe Keilan is projecting, but let me be devil's advocate. I'm going to say only for right now, for this moment, just so we can see both sides of the spectrum, that Keilan is not necessarily projecting because I wouldn't say that he's projecting only because him and Candace is going through the same thing that Jaelynn and Tylynn is going through. It's just a simple fact that Keilan is not gonna move fast how Jaelynn is.
Yeah.
So because Keilan not moving fast, I wouldn't say he's projecting. He just letting him know, like, hey, like me, bro, I'm telling Candace XYZ. It seems like you doing XYZ, and I'm telling her XYZ, and it's just like that's crazy and it's wild to me. I don't know if that's really projecting, and that's me being devil's advocate.
I think it was more so him kind of like him inserting him and Candace's their separate situation into the storyline of what Jaelynn has going on with Tylynn, because those are two different scenarios.
But I think it's because he feels like this is all even.
He feels like it's a setup that Todd came
because of Todd. Yes, he's making everything on Todd. Exactly.
He feel like that Todd came to you with the bullshit.
He think Ty is the cause for all of this. He think Ty is the reason why Candace all of a sudden want to get married. He think Jaelynn going crazy because Ty want to get married. Maybe Keilan just think Ty is a culprit. The culprit.
He really like, okay, like, well, what's going on? Like, where did this all come from? So then it gets down to like.
But no, before you move on, I do have to say that I hate that he does that. I hate that he try to make Candace seems like a follower, because that's not it. Candace doesn't seem like a follower. I don't think she is a follower. I just think that her and Tylynn are best friends, and they are having a conversation that they probably both been having. They both been talking about. They both been thinking about. So naturally, I mean, you move over and you kind of not move over, but you kind of move on and have that conversation with your partner, because that's the damn person you should be having it with.
After 5 years, you should be having that conversation anyways. Like, what's next? We about to go on year 6.
And he trying to make it seem like, bro, we still got a lot of work that happened. Yes, we got a lot of work, but he also got to understand, like, women be ready sometimes. So, okay, it's 4 years, it's 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Like, these years rolling. I ain't got a ring on my finger. Ain't nothing really happening. Ain't nothing moving. Well, maybe we shouldn't be together.
And that's a natural conversation that should be had. Like, once you get to year 5, it's kind of like, okay, like, what are we doing?
What's next, and what's the timeline?
To figure it the hell out. So then, like, they say things like Jaelynn, like, he was like, he doesn't want to move quickly. He just wants to move, like, he wants to move the right way.
Which is a big-ass contradiction, because you say you don't want to move quickly,
but you're ready to have a baby.
But you're ready to go. You go get rings beyond the baby. You go look for rings. Contradiction. Because
you don't know what you want. I don't want to say you're easily swayed, but you're pivoting now based off what your friend's saying. So, and that's all happening quickly. So what's going on there? And then Keilan, he responds back and he goes, oh, well, like, I don't want to be tied down. Which also makes for him, it does make sense, because not only does he not want to get married, but he also don't want to, like, but he also wants to have unprotected sex. So that's confusing. Like, what does a baby is going to be 15 years, like 18 more years of being tied down?
Not even 18 more years, the rest of your life. But people think it's 18 more years. No, it's your whole life. Once that first week hit, once you find out, the rest of your life. And
it's like, that just made no sense. And then Robb with 1B, he kind of just sitting over there like, him and Amanda don't have these.
Yeah, you got these problems.
they ain't got them. They got problems, but they ain't got them.
It ain't them. We ain't that far yet. Shit. We got a little sense over here, ain't it? Like, I'm just here to listen. Like, I'm here for you, bro. Whatever you want to do.
But Keilan finding out in that situation that these conversations are happening is going to be so important to what kind of happens in the next episodes. And I think that's kind of like, I feel like how Keilan moves forward from this point on is really retrospective on like who he is as a person and his relationship with Candace. I feel like it really says a lot about him and the way he thinks. And I don't think, I hate to say people shouldn't be together because I'm the outside looking in. I don't know their relationship, but it makes a lot of sense on why their dynamic is the way it is.
I can't wait for you to expound on that more because I feel like I may have opposite feelings than you because I do think in that next episode, the end of the last episode, I didn't see too many wrongs on Keilan's part. I didn't see too many wrongs on Keilan's part. But we gonna get to it. When the time is right. We gonna get to it. But so before we end off this recap, we gotta get into PJ finally pulling Rebecca to the side, having a conversation. Now, me for one, I feel like Rebecca didn't need to talk to PJ, at least at that moment, if she feel like she really did like Cal. But because she was so easily persuaded by PJ and easily left Cal in the dust like that, I was like, you know what? Bree may be crazy and Bree may say a lot of things, but in this situation, as far as Rebecca and PJ go, she was right. Because even in the beginning, like, PJ and Bree was having a conversation about the whole Rebecca, situation. Rebecca Gate at this point. Rebecca Gate. And she kept saying, like, it's something there. They keep trying to hide each other's feelings. It's there, but they not working on it. But now at this point, I guess PJ like, okay, I guess it's this time for me to do something about it.
So to that point, it being the time, do you think PJ had the courage to go approach Becky before Bree said something to him about it? Because I feel like Bree, I will say I do feel like this. I feel like the feelings were definitely there on both sides, but I feel like Bree is the one that sort of kind of gave PJ like, look, that window is still there, like it's open.
Oh, basically told her, because since they friends, it's like, well, I know my friend really low-key.
Because I don't feel like PJ would have had the courage to do that, especially on that trip, if he didn't know that there was like,
an open gate.
An opening there for him. Like, Bree gave him that.
Yeah, also too, I honestly think he would have been talking to Rebecca. He was going to talk to her, because remember after that situation, he had a conversation with his mama, and his mama was like, no, you got to understand it from her side. This is how girls is. Remember, and that was like, the second episode? So I think also too, like his mom in the background, like telling him he need to have a conversation with her. I think he naturally was going to do it. He just didn't know when.
I don't think he would have did it on that trip if it wasn't for Bree.
I think he would have, because that was the easiest time to get her. That was the easiest time to get her. He just probably didn't know when. He had to plot it out correctly, because now he didn't remember. They not knowing the boy Kyle gonna be there, because he really could have got her anytime, any place, anywhere.
And I refuse to believe you don't know who the hell coming on this trip. We got a group chat. We talking about who coming on the trip.
And which is crazy, because they always told us Petiri was coming, but they never said Kyle's name though. So maybe they didn't.
You think he just, my bro coming? Just gonna pop on up?
Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's not.
I mean, that's true, because they both also had, like you said, they always go back to the room situation. They did both have single rooms for single people.
That's what I'm saying. So it's weird. It's a confusing one. So yeah. So Rebecca and PJ had their conversation, and basically PJ finally, I don't know. At this point, is it a finally or is it again that he apologizes to her? Because I felt like he apologized before, but I also don't remember. I feel like he apologized to her. She heard what she wanted to hear, or once again, they all ganged up and attacked him, and he couldn't really get out his words and his thoughts and his feelings. So basically, now he got her by her side because she still feels some way about it because she still has feelings for him. He apologizes again, word to his mama and word to Bree, and she finally takes it in, and she's like, okay, bro, like, we good, we on good terms again. And I'm like, that's another one. I'm like, fucking finally. Because it's like, Rebecca, girl, let it go. But then again, it's like, I can't say let it go because you really did have feelings for him. Like, now that we see, and now that we really know, you still had them feelings for him. Right. You ain't listening. All I know is, the ending of this episode was clearly about clearing things up and ending situations because, baby, from one conversation to the next conversation to the conversation after that. It was a lot of reading. It was a lot of kumbayas. It was a lot of apologizing. It was a lot going on. But at the end of the day, we just got to respect how they are moving. And like I will always say that I like how mature a lot of them and most of them do come off in these conversations that they have. And of course, we like a little drama and a little extraness with it. But it makes sense at the end of the day. But with that being said, y'all already know what to do. Like this video and show your girl and your boy some love. Comment your thoughts and let's discuss what you thought of this episode and your feelings of what's going on. And last but certainly not least, subscribe and join the Queen, baby. Bye.